a feeling this entire video is going to be me really, struggling with this dude who is going to want to get in on absolutely everything. Am I wrong? Do you want to go camping? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. There's a lot more of you than the last time that I was on here, so thank you so much for joining me. This is totally awesome. I wish that I could provide you with more, me out doing things, but right now is the quarantine and the pandemic and all of that stuff, and homegirls gotta stay home. Homie, we gotta stay home. So you're stuck with videos like this until, I'm allowed to leave my house again. Without further ado, let's get started. Today, we're going to be going over the things that I can't camp in my car without. So, got a lot of things here, and these aren't the definitive, final list. These are just some things that came to mind when I first started, trying to gather my essentials. I think that there are some things in here that are going to surprise you, and things that maybe, you would never think to bring for yourself while you're camping. So hope you like it. I will link all of these products below. If I can't find the exact product, or if it's something that I've made, then I'll link something similar. For the most part, I will try to link as closely to what I have as possible. First things first, we'll start with the fabric items. A lot of you guys in the TikTok videos were asking me how I kind of keep my privacy while camping, maybe in parking lots or in more kind of heavily trafficked places. And the answer is this. This is not the most fancy thing, but it is basically blackout curtains that I bought at Walmart that I traced out the size of my window about, and then I kind of shove them up around my window, or I roll my window up with them in it. But that gives me the ability to block out light. It gives me the ability to kind of stay more private if, I am in a crowded area. And it's super cheap and it's super easy and it's nothing fancy, and you don't need fancy things to do what I do. So along those same lines, this is my camp blanket. And it has a couple of different purposes. So it's not just a normal blanket. It's a thicker material that's honestly not very comfortable. So I don't use this for sleeping, but I use it to, I throw it on the ground and behind my hatchback so that when I'm taking on and off my shoes, I'm not just standing on the dirt. It's thick enough that it is used almost like a rug, which is really nice. I will also use it to drape over my hatchback to provide me with some shade. I will use it on like if I'm at a campground that has picnic benches that are maybe that wood that maybe is going to give you a splinter in your butt, then I will drape this over it. This is kind of just that thicker material that kind of makes it easy, to shake off. It doesn't really absorb a lot, and it's not just going to rip super easily either. So this is, dude, I love you too. I love you so much. Yeah. Okay, go over there. Go over there. Okay. Ooh. Okay, go on. Okay, some of the big items out of the way. This is my Coleman stove. It is what unless I have a fire, I, for the most part, cook all of my food on this. It's a little beat up, as you can see, because it's well loved, and I carry it with me absolutely everywhere when I go camping. You do have to get those little screw-on propane things for it, but overwhelmingly, it's super easy to use. It has the wind flaps, so it doesn't matter how windy it is. I love cooking on it. Dual burner, awesome. Highly recommend. A staple in your camping kit. Along the lines of cooking, I was a Girl Scout, but you know, they didn't teach us Girl Scouts the same thing as they taught boys. I never learned how to start a fire. Never. Why? That sounds dumb. So, I also bring a starter log every single time. Toss them in the fire. Make starting a fire super easy. I mean, if y'all want to send me some tutorials on how to start a fire the good old-fashioned way, would appreciate it, because I'm ashamed that I don't know how. But yes, starter logs. These things saved my life. On both the campfire and the Coleman stove, I think I mentioned this in another video, but I use pots and pans that I'm not afraid of getting messed up. So brought this example. This is just a stainless steel pan. I can clean it super easily. It's not going to get dinged up. There's no crazy chemicals that are going to leak into my food if it gets too hot, like some of those Teflon ones have. So yeah, I bring stainless steel pans to use over both the Coleman and the normal fire, and I mean, it works for me. Easy cleanup, easy storage, super easy to use. Love it. For coffee in the mornings, if it's hot out, like if it's in the middle of summer, I will honestly just go buy some of those like Starbucks in a can, and I'll throw it in my cooler. But if it's, you know, chilly mornings still, fall, early spring, I bring my French press. So I can heat up water in that pan, either on my stove or on the fire if I have the fire going that early. And then I can use the hot water in this bad boy and make myself a nice hot cup of coffee. Highly recommend. There's nothing like a hot cup of coffee when you're out camping first thing in the morning with your splendid views. Perfection. Perfection. Highly recommend one of these. This one is glass. So, I mean, there's a couple of different options, obviously, as far as French presses go. I've never had an issue with this one breaking, but obviously, when you're out camping, things kind of have a tendency to maybe break quicker. So, kind of, you know, play around with your options as far as these things go. But I really love this one and gets the job done. A lot of times, when I am out camping, I do bring my own water. I realize that a lot of places have taps or have potable water, but I just want to always make sure that I have a decent amount of my own water on hand. So I use this bad boy to carry my water in and out with. It is insulated. It's just stainless steel, so it's super easy to clean. Doesn't make your water taste funky, which I really like. And then I can kind of just shove it anywhere. So this is my favorite thing to bring camping and store my water in. The plus side to this is you can also store beer in it when it is not being used for camping. So go get yourself a growler filled up at a brewery and bring that back, and it is perfect. Along those lines, this is going to be an embarrassing show, my cooler. It is well loved. It is kind of disgusting, but you know, it gets the job done. It fits in my footwells. Like I said in, I think it was my first video, where I have that footwell system. Fits in my footwells. It locks at the top. It can hold a decent amount, enough food for me for a week, and I like it. I also have a soft-sided one that my husband is using right now to have beer in outside while he's building us a fence, so I didn't bring that one up. But a soft-sided one also works. I don't find that it, you know, that it insulates as well. This one, I put beer in it for them yesterday and filled it with ice. The ice was still in there this morning when I went to go grab it, which is like 24 hours later, still solid chunks of ice. Amazing. Love it. We love her. Along the lines of the privacy thing, I also bring one of these guys with me. I got this from the Dollar Tree, so you don't need anything fancy. She keeps the car both cool or hot. It just insulates whatever is in there because it reflects the sunlight, as you can see. You can then bundle it back up, shove it under the seat of the car. Perfect. Another essential that I always have with me is a first aid kit. It just has some basic things like Band-Aids, gloves, tweezers, some alcohol pads, a first aid guide, which is awesome. I mean, it's nothing like if you break a bone, it's not going to do anything to help you there, but instant cold pack. I have a little thing of hand sanitizer, which liquid gold right now. I did get this little survival kit in a sardine can, and there's a little pouch in here, and I have that in my hiking bag, but this has some extra things like some gum, even like a Tootsie Roll, because I mean, you never know, some string, some matches, Clorox wipes, bunch of bandages. So you don't know that you need one of these until you need one. This one I literally bought as is from, I think it was from Walmart even, but I mean they sell them everywhere. So get yourself a little first aid kit and just keep it in your car all the time. Like, doesn't matter if you're camping, just keep a first aid kit in your car. Hatchet. This was actually my grandpa's hatchet, so it's old and probably needs resharpened, but I keep a hatchet in my car, not just so like I use it to obviously like split firewood. I can use it for digging, can use it as a hammer for tent stakes if I do camp in a tent. There's a lot of purposes for this, so I just keep this in my car really at all times. A shovel is another thing. I didn't bring a shovel up with me, but I highly recommend keeping a shovel in your car when you are car camping, just because, so like digging a fire pit, covering back up that fire, because only you can prevent forest fires. Smokey the Bear says that. You can also use it for going potty in the wild. Sometimes can get tricky. You want to cover that up. Be like Oliver over here and cover up your number 2s. So another thing that I always have with me is one of these bad boys. This one is kind of unique. So this is it's a charger bank, but you can plug this side into your cigarette lighter in your car, and then you can also plug your USB into this, so that it not only is charging this, but it is also charging your phone at the same time. One of these usually charges me up for about a day on my phone. So I have a couple of these that I bring. I have about 7 different ones. They're not all exactly like this, but 7 different ones that I, can have throughout my camping trip to keep my phone fully charged at all times. Another unique thing about this particular one, and I hope that this is something that I never have to use it for, let's say that you drive your car into the water, you can also use this side to bust out your car windows. So not something that I ever want to have to deal with, but something that my husband taught me, to always have something like this in my car in case of an emergency. Along those lines, charging my camera, another thing I have to charge while on the road. So this is a universal car charger for your camera. This does pop in and out, so I can use this with the other adapter, which plugs into the wall if I need to. But this slides to fit your batteries, and these prongs slide to fit the negative and positive sides of your batteries. I have 2 batteries for my Nikon D750, which is what I'm filming you guys on, so I can't show you what it looks like, but I always have those fully charged before I go into a trip, and then those, for the most part, they last me an entire trip. The batteries do not drain very quickly, but if I'm doing a lot of nighttime photography, a lot of star photography, astrophotography, the batteries can drain pretty quickly. So having this, if I need it, is another absolute must. I keep this in my car at all times just in case. So love this. And then last but not least, I went over this in my last video, but pepper spray. Always great to have on hand. Keep some in your purse, keep some on your keychain, keep some in your door, keep some in your trunk. Keep one everywhere because you never know when you need it, and you need to have it in arm's reach when you do need it. So highly recommend. Love this thing. Get a couple of them. Keep them handy. Stay safe. So with that, I think I'm done with all the products that I brought upstairs to do this with me. I'm sure you're thinking, Katie, I know that's not everything you bring. I'm like, yeah, I know that, but I wasn't about to drag the mattress upstairs. You guys have seen that thing, so I don't feel like I need to show it again. But I did have a couple of you guys asking how it compares to the IKEA mattresses that are currently for sale at IKEA. It is not the same as those ones at all. All of the ones that I could find on the IKEA website had a fold for the futon. If you guys buy a mattress, I would not recommend buying one with a seam or a fold in it for a couch like the futons typically do, just because you have to sleep in that. You don't want to be falling into no crevices while you're trying to sleep. I have one really similar to what I have linked below. The one that I have is a foam cotton mixture, and I find that it's sturdy enough that I can't feel where my seats are, laid down, but then it's also comfortable enough that I can sleep a full night like I can at my house. So highly recommend that. Sleeping bags. I honestly, unless it's going to be cold, I don't usually bring a sleeping bag, just because I bring a comforter with me and I don't usually need it. If you do like sleeping bags, I'll figure out. It's in the closet. I'll get it. Hold on. Sleep better. Perform better. Let's see if it says on the tag. Ooh, it's Sierra Designs. Sierra Designs. I won this in a contest with the Student Conservation Organization. I did not buy it, but I recommend it. I mean, it's a fine sleeping bag. But like I said, I don't typically bring a sleeping bag with me. As you guys know, I don't sleep in a tent. I sometimes will set up a tent if I'm at a campsite, just because then it at least looks like someone is there and no one goes rummaging through or setting up camp where your camp is. There are obviously a couple things that I'm missing, but for the most part, these are all of my essentials that I always have with me and that I recommend. If you guys have any questions, or if you have any other videos that you want me to film, just let me know. I will do my best to link, if not these exact products, very similar products down in the description, so that you guys can look at them and see if maybe that's something that you were interested in. I am, just like the rest of the world, stuck at home with the pandemic right now, and so this summer I'm really hoping to get out and film some videos of, vlog style of me going out and exploring and showing you guys how I do all of this in action. But right now I'm stuck at home, and believe me, I can't wait to get out. As soon as I'm able to, those types of videos will be coming, so hang tight, subscribe so that you don't miss them. Go ahead and give this video a like for me. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for all of your support on everything. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope you guys are staying healthy with everything going on. I will see you guys next week. Thank you.